had a safe week, blessed week, and please be safe out here this weekend, shopping, traveling, be aware of your faculties, everyone. Ladies, go in groups. Try not to shop at night if you can avoid it, and don't leave any boxes outside of your home to show what you have purchased. I have done extensive shorts recently pertaining to breaking news and hypothetical situations. So today I decided to piggyback off of a subject matter that's very horrific. As most of you know, Anna Kepner was found under her bed on a boat, a cruise ship, and her stepbrother is suspected of being the perpetrator. I decided to talk about that today. Stepbrother sister relationships. Is it taboo? Is it okay to allow children in the same house, living in the same house, date one another although they're not related, or when they turn 18? Is it a good idea for the stepbrother, stepsister to date one another? I want you to ponder on that. And while you ponder on that, I'm going to read answers to my polls that I put up yesterday pertaining to those said hypothetical situations. This live is about stepbrother, sister dating in the home as adults, taboo relationships, dating after a wife or husband has passed away. What's the appropriate timeline to start dating? Dating a brother-in-law, sister-in-law after the spouse has passed away. Dating a distant relative, third cousin, fourth cousin, fifth cousin. We're going to discuss all that during this live stream. Welcome to the Phone Excel, everybody. You begin a new relationship and find out you are related. Do you continue? 0% yes, 93% no. 5% of you said not sure. 2% said only if we have been dating or together 6 months or longer, 56 votes. Do you knowingly date your second, third, fourth, etc. cousin? 7% yes, 91% no. 2% of you said you're not sure, 45 votes. Do you tell people you're dating a distant relative? 4% yes, 96% no, 24 votes. Step brother, sister dating in the home or after the age of 18. 90% of you said never. 10% of you said you're not sure. Only after leaving the home at any age, 0%. 30 people voted. How long should a person wait to date after losing their spouse? 1 day to 6 months, 7%. 1 year, 34%. 2 or more years, 10%. Not sure, 48%. 28 people voted. Do you initiate or accept a date from your dead spouse's sibling? So, Miss Lady, let's say your husband passes away and his brother makes a pass at you or asks you out. Do you reciprocate? Yes, 7%. No, 90%. Not sure, 3%. 30 votes. Is it right or wrong to hit on your friend's ex? Wrong, 100%. 24 people voted. Wow. Then I asked this question, which is a bit dicey. Do you stay in a relationship, married, after finding out he or she uses drugs? 15% said yes, they're going to stay. 70% said you're out of there. 15% of you said you're not sure. 20 people voted. We know we live in a world where many people can be related to people and not know they're related to them. And that's why it's best to talk to people about their family, where they're from, where they lived, where you've lived. You might want to ask those questions because you just might be dating someone who is possibly a distant relative, especially if you live in a small town. Many people have been intertwined, related to one another, and that's why it's good to know who you're talking to, especially with young people, because when you live in a small town, a lot of people are related to one another. And you may not be familiar with everyone in the town. And you might start dating this guy And then next thing you know, it doesn't work out. Then you see this other guy, he might hit on you, or you hit on him, and you start dating him. And then next thing you know, you hear, oh, they're cousins, they're first cousins, they're second cousins. And you're like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. And God forbid you find out he's your cousin or she's your cousin. I want to know, do you date him anyway? Second, third, fourth, fifth, down the line. And if you were dating someone, it started getting serious, you find out you're related to this person, would you continue? Now, the stepbrother, stepsister, that was on my mind due to this Ann Kepner case. And as I had said in that commentary, I do believe the parents knew that this 16-year-old boy had a crush on his own stepsister. And you've got families who would allow the kids to date, knowing they're living in the same house, and knowing that's not a good idea. But you've got some weird people now raising children, and weird people with sick ideologies, and they would think it's okay. And then the sick part, besides them dating while they're living in the house underage, they're now adults, and they are fancying one another, which will lead many people to think they were fancying each other when they were under the same roof and probably were doing sexual things with one another, which is really bad. But some will say, well, they're not related, but it doesn't matter. You grow up with somebody in the same house, you shouldn't be looking at them in that way, okay? It's just like if a family takes in a foster kid, another relative's child, neighbor's child. I just don't think it's a good idea for the kids to date. And we live in a world where children experiment with sex, so that's the very reason why, hell no. You would not want kids in your house having sexual relations, whether they're related or not. It's not a good idea. So let's fast forward to they are legally grown. They're over the age of 18. These two individuals decide they want to date. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you consider it taboo or not taboo? They were raised in the same house, no matter the timeline of how long they were living in the house with their parents, but they are now legal adults, and they want to court one another. Do you think it is taboo? They should date or they should not date. That's my commentary. Got two people viewing. Thank you. Got a little soft music running and a little snow backdrop. Decided to put something, tranquil on today. Didn't want to show myself today. I was a bit tired today. A little sluggish, everybody. Just pray for the queen. But we do have a lot of taboo relationships. I think about a situation I know of from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. That black lady on the show, Mary, she's married to her grandmother's husband. What type of nonsense is that? I've never heard of such. I think of being raised by my grandfather, who is not my biological grandfather, but he was married to my grandmother, Mr. Joe. I cannot fathom if he was alive today, because he'd be very, very old, but you understand what I'm saying? I could not imagine dating him after my grandmother passed away. That's just some sick SHIT. And that woman ought to be ashamed of herself. I just can't believe anyone would even look at a man in that way, or a man look at a young girl that way and want to court her knowing you were married to her grandmother. That's some sick SHIT, I'm sorry. That to me, that's going too far. That's no different than dating your stepfather. Why would you want to do that? This man has been with your mother. I want people to really think about that. This man has been slumbering, married, playing house with your mother. And they break up, he passed away, whatsoever. You make a pass at him or vice versa. Both of you need to have your heads checked, because I don't believe in stuff like that. That's just going too far. Like I said, we all can make mistakes, but it's a bad idea. I guess I might say, well, what's the difference if it was an aunt or uncle? their wife or husband or boyfriend or baby daddy. That's probably just as taboo as well, because everything depends on your interpretation. But you've seen that happen down the line. People end up hooking up or having a fling or something with a relative's ex. Either they were married, divorced, or had kids together. Tell me what you think. Wow, wow, wow. Very scary information. But yes, that Ann Kepner has been on my mind. A very terrible case. And I thought about that and I said, I'm going to put that in a poll about stepbrother sisters dating. Because we have just weird people out here and they don't have any, you know, etiquette about raising kids and what's taboo, not taboo. Like people always say, well, when you get grown, you can do what you want. Yeah, but people's feelings can still get hurt if you're dating their ex. You know, a guy dates a girl, they break up, and then later his brother is hitting on the girl. I would say the brother, his feelings would be hurt. He may not admit it, but I think his feelings would be hurt. I think his feelings would be hurt if it was his friend who tried to hook up or date his ex-girlfriend, ex-wife. Because people do have feelings. And the first thing they'll think, well, you must have been eyeing them when we were together. That's the first thing they'll say once they find out about the relationship. Or if they had sex. Oh, you must have been eyeing her when we were together. And actually, you do have to be careful with your friends and family members around your wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, because you do have people who will go in behind you and make a pass while you're in that relationship. And we've heard of brothers fighting over women, sisters fighting over men, mother and daughter sleeping with the same guy. I mean, you're talking about some serious Jerry Springer type stuff, but it goes on. A guy messing around with two sisters, messing with two friends. Who in the world? What in the world? Just like there's a case that's on the docket of a woman who's married to another man, but she was sleeping with her daughter's boyfriend. Her other daughter was sleeping with that same man. And then she and her husband unalived her daughter who was pregnant and cut the baby out of her stomach. I know you all have heard about that case. This is how wicked the world is. How do you talk someone into unaliving your child and cutting a baby out of her stomach? And you were also sleeping with her boyfriend. And this girl was adopted and she somehow connected with this woman and the family. And I'm sure she had no idea what type of people they were. They said she connected with them when she was 18. She died at the age of 22. This just goes to show you how sick the world is, that a woman is sleeping with a man who is sleeping with her daughter, pregnant daughter, and her other daughter, and yet she's married, and she and her husband kill her own daughter who was pregnant. She and the baby died. They have yet to find the baby. This is what I'm talking about. At some point, we have to get some morals about ourselves. I can honestly say that there's no man that my sister has dated, to my knowledge, that I would be interested in. Although I don't know every man she's dated, but the two or so that I've heard about, seen in person or met over video chat, I wouldn't be interested, okay? I wouldn't be interested. I wouldn't knowingly go after them, that's what I'm saying. And I wouldn't reciprocate a pass if they made a pass at me. It just makes for bad blood. And I get it. Small towns are tricky situations. I live in a small town. Everybody knows of everyone or know everyone. We have different counties outside of Knoxville where the people know each other. Blount County, Anderson, Rome, Knox, they're all intertwined. People are related to people in all those different jurisdictions, grew up with each other, play sports with each other, against each other. And it can be a dire situation as far as courting, making babies, and dating one another. Because you might know of a young lady, let's say you're a female, and you are cool with a certain young lady in the town. You two don't have any differences with one another. You don't dislike one another. But let's say one of you was in a long term relationship or was married and it's no longer. And then one of the ladies starts dating that guy. The other girl might have a problem with that, even though the two ladies may not be best friends, but they have spoken, explained pleasantries. And now word's getting around, oh yeah, Susie's dating old Bob. And Mary may not be too happy with that. But she might think, oh, I thought me and Susie were cool. Why would she want to be with him knowing we know of each other? Do you understand what I'm saying? And it happens all the time, especially in small towns. Everybody's exchanging bodily fluids back and forth, making children, guys hooking up with first cousins, second cousins, making kids. So the kids are now brothers and sisters and cousins at the same time. And this happens a lot in small jurisdictions. I'm sure it happens in other places too, big cities, but it's more prevalent in smaller towns where people know of each other. They don't ever leave the town to go out to the world and move about. They stay put, and everybody is just, as I said, sloughing off with one another. And then the word gets out, oh, he's been sneaking around. Bob has been sneaking around with Susie. Mary didn't know. Now Mary knows. And it can be very uncomfortable. Walking around town, bumping into people at the grocery store, Walmart, package store, and this woman has been sleeping with your man. You understand what I'm saying? It can make for a very awkward situation, but it happens. I'm going to spin a story to you. There was an elderly lady that was very well known in a small community in this area, outside this area, and she was a foster mother, and she was messing around with this older gentleman that lived down the street. Now he was married. Grown kids, grandkids, and every night this older gentleman would stop by this older lady's house, tap on her back door, and they would sit back in their bedroom giggling, touching, or whatever older people do. The sick part is that he lived down the street, he was married, he was the number man, if you know what the number man is. That's the guy that collects the money for the illegal lottery. And also the two women attended the same church. Now I want you to think about what I just said. Same community, same street, and the ladies attended the same church. And all these three people were elderly, if you get my drift. And when I mean elderly, I don't mean 60. I mean 70 plus, near 80 something years of age, and they've probably been doing it for a long time. What was sad is to see this elderly lady, people thinking she was a really nice older lady, foster mother, wasn't the best foster mother, but people didn't know that. Sitting up in church every Sunday, fanning a fan, dressing up in her nice suits and hats, praising the Lord. But little did the world know that when she took off those Sunday clothes, at night, an elderly man will be tapping at her back door, a married elderly man, canoodling with her in her bedroom. See, you don't know people. We're all human, we're all flawed, we all make mistakes. We can all be attracted to people that we know we probably shouldn't be attracted to. We know we shouldn't be having sex with them, but you go ahead and you do it anyway for some crazy ass reason. But I always thought that story was quite interesting. And when people mention her name, this elderly lady, I just cringe, thinking, you have no idea who the hell you're talking about. People in the church may not know what was going on with this elderly lady and this elderly man. And I think if the church people knew, they would be shocked. Now, perhaps her family members knew. I don't know. Some people did know. That's why I can spin this story to tell it. It's a true story. This elderly lady was a hot pants. She had hot pants. She's sleeping with a married man who lived on the same street, and she and his wife attended the same church. I want you to think about that. And I think somewhere near the end, after he passed away, those ladies became cordial towards one another. How about that? Wow, wow, wow. So I ask you about relatives dating one another. Is it taboo? Is it taboo? Second, third, fourth, fifth? Some people might say, well, it's too far down the line, it doesn't matter. But that's what makes your family tree. Your aunt, your great aunt, that's what makes a family tree. So what do you think? Taboo or not taboo? Stepchildren raised in the same house. Is it taboo for them to date in the house while being raised together? And when they become adults, is it taboo for these children to date one another? That's my commentary. I hope everyone is well this Christmas season. I decided to play some soft music in this video backdrop of snow falling. It's a very pretty scenery. With the bay windows and the candles lit. I hope everyone gets what they want for Christmas. I have yet to do any Christmas shopping. I'll probably teeter out the week of Christmas, get myself a few things. But I don't have a big Christmas list for anyone or myself. But I do like the holiday season. I like to see, the different videos, such as what I'm watching here with the snow falling and the candles lit, the Christmas music. I like seeing the Christmas decorations on the building and the houses and inside of the stores, the store windows. As I have told you all growing up in Chicago, that was a very popular thing, going downtown and looking at the Christmas decorations and looking at the mannequins in the window, the scenery and the mannequins moving, children playing with the sleds and, reindeer, things like that. Those give me good memories. Good memories as a child growing up in the city. A little bit different here in the South, because in the South, it might be 50 degrees on Christmas. You can never tell. I don't even think I've had a Christmas here in Tennessee where it was snow on Christmas Day. And sometimes it can get warm in December here in Tennessee. But that's just my little short story of growing up in the city and enjoying going downtown to shop and window gaze at the mannequins moving in the windows. Has everyone completed their Christmas shopping online and in the stores? I have a view near the mall and I can see it's a little crowded out in the parking lot. So it's there's some people out shopping right now. And they're not extending the hours either, I don't believe. I'm sure some people aren't happy with that because everyone has a different work schedule. And it used to be the stores were closing about like 11 o'clock at night at the mall, but they don't stay open late now. Used to be you can go into stores on Thanksgiving, but I believe Walmart, they closed Thanksgiving here in Knoxville. I guess they said everybody deserves a break, time to spend with their family. I guess everything is commercialized now. The reason why places, were staying open, Thanksgiving, even Christmas. But I guess Walmart said, well, we better give these people a day off because they're going to be working hard, stocking the shelves, busy, helping people in the checkout lines and hustling, bustling of, keeping the store going. So we'll give them Thanksgiving off. Do any of you ever go out Christmas night? If things are open, such as the movie theater, bowling alley, will any of you go anywhere Christmas night? Thanksgiving as well. I think back in the day we used to go to the movies when I was younger. Uh, Thanksgiving or Christmas night, we go to the picture show or something. That's my commentary. Take the polls, you guys, on my community page. I'm going to read this poll to you guys about the stepbrother stepsister poll, and give you the results. 30 people voted stepbrother sister dating in the home or after 18 years of age. 90% of you said never. 10% of you said not sure. Wow, wow, wow. That's interesting. Very interesting. And there's some updates as well I got to bring you pertaining to the reckoning. The person who filmed the video of Sean Combs, the original person has spoken out. He basically said he put in a replacement, and that person should not have given the video or sold the video to anyone. It was not an ethical thing to do. That's what was said. And also, there's supposed to be an arrest in the D4VD case of David and Celeste Rivas Hernandez. A witness has decided not to cooperate. So I guess they're being held in contempt and they'll possibly be arrested. There's a lot of crazy nonsense going on in the world right now. I'll be glad when that case is over with and done. And tired of talking about Sean Puffy Combs. My thing is, he's locked up, he's in prison. Give it a rest. Every time you look up, there's something new. And with this reckoning, it's just non-stop. But as 50 Cent has said, he did this documentary to be petty, take a jab at P. Diddy, and he knew he would see it. The interview, he knew that he would see it in prison. ABC interview with Robin Roberts. I thought, Lord have mercy. When does the madness stop? It won't. But that's my commentary. Let me know on my community page. Take the polls, comment, and also on my shorts. I did shorts also pertaining to the questions. I did the questions last. But let me know what is taboo, not taboo. Should people just live free today? Date whoever you want. Doesn't matter if it's your friend's ex-wife, ex-husband. If the sisters have dated the same guy, so what? Brothers dated the same woman, so what? Who cares if my mother was married to that guy? I like him. Fathers marrying their daughter's friends. And then the most worst taboo, brothers and sisters dating, marrying. That's definitely taboo. Because you know, that's just, to me, a deadly sin. Having relations with your own bloodline. And God forbid, making children. The child may come out developmentally delayed because the bloodlines are not supposed to mix. And I think anybody with sense knows that. That's not a good idea. Father and daughter, brother and sister, mother and son. Come on now. I saw a video title, I believe it was yesterday, where it said, mother tries to get into son's pants or something. And I thought, dear God, what the hell is this? This is how crazy the world is. I didn't even open the video. I said, I'm not even about to listen. I'm not even about to listen to this nonsense. And I didn't open it. And I'm glad I didn't. I've listened to enough craziness. And today I just want to really take a break because I wasn't feeling the best today. Kind of, like I said, kind of tired. So that's why I hadn't been on earlier. But I did want to make this live about the stepbrother and stepsister. I wanted to get you all's opinion. What do you think about children dating one another, but they live in the same house, but they're not biologically related? And also when they become adults, should a stepbrother and sister date, marry, have children? Some will say, well, it's no big deal, they're not related. But the point is they were raised together in the same house. That's my point. It's not like growing up having a best friend that you played with, went to school with, went to church with. You two become adults, you start dating or start dating in high school. That's totally different. You didn't live in the same house. You weren't raised together as a family unit. Okay? Hello, Katina. How are you? I told you to reach out to me. I hope you are feeling better. Oh, you asked me if I feel better. Feel better. I hope I do. I hope you feel better. You said you had a little fiasco yesterday. Yeah. But as I said, when you live in a small town, people are going to cross over and have slept together. Friends of you, a young lady might mess with a guy, and then she might mess with another guy, and she has no idea that those two guys are friends. They hang together, they grew up together until one day somebody starts talking and be like, "Oh yeah, they're buddies," or she's listening to a guy talk about a guy that maybe she slept with, and she probably is not going to mention, "Oh yeah, I used to mess around with him," because he's going to go double back and ask the guy, "Hey, I'm talking to Sherry. What was going on with that? When was the last time y'all were together?" And you might, it's usually a recipe for disaster when guys start finding out about women, because they can be just as petty as females. Start asking things, then they can start telling business, which is very disrespectful. It's not good to share, I guess, what a woman does or what a guy does behind closed doors. And a lot of men, young men too, they're free to tell their personal escapades. And that's why I tell young women, you need to be very careful who you take up with, because you do have young men and men who talk and they like to tell their business, and you don't want to be the talk of the town, because it's disrespectful, to be telling what a woman did to you and didn't do. You don't do that. You don't do that, because you have a mother, a sister, a grandmother, and you wouldn't want a man out here talking bad about them in the street and talk about what they did in the bed. But you do have men like that. They're very honorary, very arrogant, and they like to tell. So that's why I was telling women, you have to be very careful who you sleep with, who you date. And then you have some men, they'll fabricate things. You could have just went out on a date, and he can go back and tell people, "Oh yeah, we slept together, blah, blah, blah." And that may have never happened. And the first thing some guys will say, "Well, why is he lying? He don't got no reason to lie. He's popular. He gets all kind of women." That you think he does. Doesn't matter that you know him to sleep around with different women. You can't say what he did with every woman, because it's none of your business. It's none of your damn business. And I say the same for a woman. You don't need to be telling everybody who you're messing with and what he did and what he didn't do and what was good, wasn't good. Because women talk, women gossip. And you have to be careful what you tell people, because people can go back and repeat, things that you've told. So we all have to learn from our mistakes. Just if something bad happened between a person, you and a person, even though you're upset at the situation, something they did, you do have to be careful what you repeat, because the person might want to pop off and do something to you. We have a lot of crazy people out here. They don't mind putting their hands on you. I had a man say he was paying for my college books, and I was in the 8th grade. So many men have lied on me. Oh, wow. Paying for your college books. And I was in the 8th grade. Well, why would a man be talking about a 14-year-old girl? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Well, did you ever date the guy? Because that doesn't make any sense. There are not too many 14-year-olds that are in college, so I don't understand that. This is why I say that you got to know the people that you're with. And you have to learn people. And I always say to women, if you meet a guy, because you can learn a lot about people before you do anything with them. If all he does is talk bad about women, let's just say in a conversation, you're having a conversation with him, your first conversation, or you overhear him talking to other people, men, women, whomever. If he's bad-mouthing a woman, calling her nasty names, he's talking about what they did sexually, you don't even need to waste your breath on that guy. I don't care what you heard about him. I don't care if you heard he spends money, he likes to buy gifts, take women out to eat, he's got a nice size Mr. John downtown. Bypass it. Because you have to remember, if he can sit there and talk about Susie and talk about her like a dog, he will do the same about you. And one thing I don't like are loudmouth men. They are turn off to me. Because usually when a man is loud, that's a guy who's insecure. He wants to be seen by everybody. He is the type that will definitely tell your business. Anything that goes on in your household, in the relationship, he's going to tell it. He's going to tell his mama, his homeboy, his sister. He's going to tell the cashier at Walmart. He's going to tell everybody. First time you two fall out, it's going to be news. It's going to be on Facebook. He's going to talk about it. He's going to go live. He's going to tell what you did. He's going to call your name out. Embarrass you in public. Talk about you in public. I am not turned on by loud men. If I can hear you before I see you, you're not somebody I want to talk to. Because I know those type of men. And they gossip. They gossip like an old hen. And that's not the type of guy I want to be with. Also, men that cry easily. That's a bad sign. Because to me, those men usually turn on you and they like to blame you for things. That's another thing I've noticed. Men that cry, they tend to lie, they exaggerate things. It's everybody else's fault. Everybody's done them wrong. They don't know why they're in this situation that they're in. I've seen it recently. Grown-ass men crying. And I'm looking like, what are you crying for? Nobody's done anything to you because you have made these problems and issues by not being an adult and being responsible to take care of yourself. So you're in these situations where you're having to depend on people for whatever. And yeah, people will try to get over on you when they see you're in a dire situation. They'll use you for your time, your money, whatever they can get from you. And I'm just to the point where I don't want to hear it. Now, I'm not saying a man shouldn't cry. I'm talking about a man that just Johnny on the spot starts crying. It's totally different. And especially if you've seen this person cry before and you're sitting here wondering like, okay, what's wrong now? Why are you crying? That person has some serious, deep mental issues and there's nothing you can do for that person. There's nothing you can help this person with. I've seen it, as I said, I've seen it recently. Two different men crying. They have the same similar problems, similar habits, crying over nothing, over problems that they made, man-made problems. And it is a turnoff. Because you're crying because you know you're a fuck up and you don't do what you need to do right by people. So now you want somebody to feel sorry for you, but you're crying to a person that knows your ways and know how you are. Everybody's got game. You live and you learn. It's just a matter of what you're willing to tolerate. Hello, Lisa. I don't even read the description, but I was just talking to someone about loud, arrogant men. Yeah. You know, opposites usually attract. The loud guy usually gets with the quiet lady. The loud lady gets with the quiet guy. But I can tell you in the end, that would be probably one of the things that will turn you off about that person. If you're quiet, you're going to grow tired of a loud guy, loud female. It's going to get old because they're going to do or say something at the wrong time and in front of the wrong people. And you're going to be embarrassed and you're going to be pissed off. Somebody's going to come back and tell you something that they said, something personal, something you didn't want other people to know. And you're going to be pissed off. I don't want a loud man. Get loud, get mad, want to start hollering and screaming and wow out. But then some can be kind of quiet, but then when he gets in his emotions, that's when he decides he wants to get loud and start screaming and hollering. And you look at him like, who the fuck are you? No. You have men like that. They're quiet until they're angry. Then they're calling your names, they're hollering, wanting everybody in the building to hear everything they're saying. You don't want anybody like that. And you got to try to keep quiet, as not to exacerbate the situation. Have people hearing your business. I like a mild-mannered guy. He's not loud. He doesn't, talk crazy, doesn't curse, he ain't, he don't get crunk. He's not a follower. He don't use drugs. He's mild-mannered. I don't even know where this person where he is and if he exists. If so, I ain't met him. The one that I did meet last year that I thought was mild-mannered, he was just a fraud. So you know how that goes. It is what it is. My husband is cool, calm, and collected, quiet, and private. Oh, that's nice, Lisa. I didn't know you were married. Okay, congratulations. That's nice. Yeah, Queen hasn't had the opportunity to walk down the aisle. Hell, I can't even get a date to get to the marriage part. I've had a few people ask me, "Oh, you never been married?" I'm like, "No, I've never been married. I'm doing good to get to the dating stage." Thought I'd turn that around a little bit so you see the snow falling. Yeah, it's rough being this age, single. I'll have a birthday coming up in a month and a half, and it's just kind of hard to believe I'll be almost 55 years old and still single, never married. Wow. We don't like to draw attention to ourselves. We are quiet. Okay. Oh, 25 years. He's 58. I'm 57. Oh, wonderful. Congratulations. That's nice. Lisa, where do you live? What part of the country are you in? The men and women today are loud. Yes, they are boisterous, white and black. I see it in every race. Get drunk, crunk, gotta be seen, gotta go live, tell everybody what's going on. Alabama. Okay, I forgot about that. I'm sorry, Alabama. Well, you're down there with our other little friend, Katina. She's in Alabama too. Got them Alabama girls in the house. Just like that. What they love to say, girl, what you doing? It's not a black woman talk down there. Girl, not girl, but girl. Y'all know our picks. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. 42 minutes into this live. I didn't want to be on here long. I said I was going to try to keep my lives under an hour. But I just wanted to jump on here and share some of my commentary about the stepbrother, stepsister situation and share the results from the polls that's on my community page. Feel free to go over there, take the polls, make your voice count. You can comment below the video. Also, follow me on the Newsbreak app, the Vault XL. I've not done any videos over there in a while. For some reason, the camera, when I go into the app and try to film from my camera, it's dark. I don't know why over there it's dark, but it's not dark anywhere else. So I write something, and then you can comment below my post what you think about that situation. So follow me over there. And if I comment under an article, you'll get a notification to let you know Queen has commented under an article. Gal, right. I get you. Hey, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. Ooh, gal. Girl, what you doing? Nothing. Ooh, I'll tell you, when I was listening to that video the other night where that guy and girl was screaming and hollering at each other before they ended up unaliving one another, the guy unalived her that went and killed himself too. Ooh, the way they talked, oh my goodness. Her English was horrible. I was like, where is she? God have mercy. But everywhere has their own distinctive accent from the South. Florida, the black people in Florida have their own distinctive accent. Alabama, Memphis, they got their own distinctive accent. South Carolina, they've got a distinctive accent. In Louisiana, they've got a distinctive accent. You can tell who's from Louisiana. They draw their words out too. when they talk. And it's just so interesting when I meet people. I always try to guess where they're from when they speak. When they have a southern accent, I try to guess where they're from. You said I'm gonna find your news break. Thank you. What is it, Queen? Lisa, what is it, baby? What you wanna know, honey? Pretty living room. It's just so pretty. Don't you love it? With the snow falling. It's nice, the music playing. No snow here. I see it snowed other places. It hasn't snowed over here. Thank the Lord. I gotta get out next week, do some shopping, grocery shopping, and then the week after I'll get me something for Christmas. Oh, I have heard new reports about summer moon. Have you reported on it? No. What have you heard? Only thing I reported was about 2 weeks ago about the house, FBI going to that house. I did a video on that. It's such a beautiful scenery. Oh my goodness. I like to have it on the big TVs where you can see the scenery. It's so pretty. Fireplace brewing with the candles, the nice sofa sectional pushed up against the windows. I don't know if this is a real house or AI, but it's pretty. What did you hear, Lisa? Oh, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, yeah. They went to the house, somebody's house, Fred Hill's family member house or something. Yeah. I haven't heard any more about it. Nothing else. Well, everybody, I'm just sitting here bored, watching some British TV. People that go in to help clean other people's houses that's cluttered, nasty. People that keep clean houses. They show you what their house looks like and their cleaning regimen, and then they go to somebody else's house and help them out. That's what I was doing today. When I finally got up, I turned that on, had me some coffee, little donuts, and chicken sandwich, chicken I made from last night. I grilled it in some oil on the stove last night, ate it for leftovers for lunch. I don't know what I'm gonna eat for dinner tonight. I thought about making me some popcorn. I got popcorn on the brain. I like to cook it on the stove the old-fashioned way. Oh, no, don't drop the name. I'll check it out. Summer isn't on the missing person list in Tennessee. I don't know anything about it. I'll check right now and see if she's still on there. If there's an Amber Alert. Told you can't believe everything those people say. Is Summer Wells still on the Amber Alert? Says she's still missing. Yes, Summer Wells is still under an active Amber Alert in Tennessee. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation continues to pursue any leads in her case, which has been ongoing since her disappearance June 15, 2021. So you can't listen to that stuff, girl. So 5 days ago, December 9th, 2025, Tennessee Amber Alert missing child, Summer Moon, Utah Wells, missing 4 years, 5 months, 24 days. Please help Summer Wells. And that's on Facebook. She's still missing. Still missing, still on Amber Alert. I don't know whose name, what channel you was listening. But this is why, well, you could have Googled it yourself, Lisa. You don't believe the person, just Google it yourself. That's why YouTubers don't like people mentioning other YouTubers' names. Because see, that's false information. And they shouldn't have said that because it's a lie. It's a lie. They've got photos of the age progression. 21, 23, 25. She's still on the Amber list. Amber Alert, excuse me. That's today's date, the 12th, December. She's got a birthday coming up, less than 2 months. Several people see one Facebook person, one YouTuber, he's got a Summer Wells page. Good Lord. Look how cute she looked. It's a pretty little girl. Well, that's all we can do is pray. Wait 1 second. Sorry about that. Sad. Very sad. She looks like Dawn right there. Now this is Sharon Snap Snyder Facebook group. All right, honey. Thank you so much. Happy holidays, Lisa. I'm gonna check out here, everybody. That's the latest. The Amber Alert pertaining to Summer Wells is still active. So whoever told Lisa that information, YouTuber, lied. That's why I keep telling you all, you got to stop listening to these people that's bringing information about anything, no matter what the topic is, because a lot of people do not research what they're saying. I don't know how they could get it wrong that she's not on an Amber Alert or missing. That doesn't make any sense. This DoorDash driver was spraying something in the people's food. What in the hell? Look at that. Crazy people out here. You all have a wonderful holiday. God bless all of you. Thank you for joining me. Happy holidays. Be careful shopping. Be careful what you post online pertaining to your purchases and travels. Know that there's always somebody watching. Make sure your security system, doorbell cameras are in check. Do not leave anything inside of your car or the trunk because there are always people watching, so they can pop the lock in your car, on the car doors and the trunk, and break out your windows. And we have some people who have been arrested here in my general area. A guy and a girl, porch pirates, stealing packages off of people's porches. So please be aware of your faculties. Make sure somebody's home to pick up your packages. Or if you live in a home, ask the company if they can deliver to the back of the house, if that's okay. Just so nobody will see you have packages on the front porch. Follow me on the Newsbreak app. Follow me here on YouTube. Check out my extensive library, 5,000 plus videos, shorts. Check out my posts. I will be bringing you an update pertaining to The Reckoning and David and Celeste. Those will be in shorts. And I thank you for your time. Have a wonderful holiday season. I hope Santa brings you what you're wanting. Don't forget to give, pay it forward. Even if it's just a small gift, a phone call or a box of chocolates. Think of our elderly, those who are shut in, don't get out much. Nothing wrong with a pair of slippers, a nice robe, a scarf. It's the thought that counts. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $McAngie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. And if you'd like to contact me about a story, big.sexy.71 on IG, Instagram. Be safe, everybody. You have been listening to the Vault XL. Taboo relationships. Weigh in. Comment on my community page and my videos. Thank you.